Hey, I'm David Kilgore, and I brought my buddy Billy Berger down. He's more of a traditional hunter. I know y'all seen me shoot a lot of stuff with guns and bows and stuff, but Billy here hunts with traditional equipment, and he's going to show us a little bit of how to make it, and we're going to do a little hunting with it.
Yeah, hoping to get lucky on some pigs, but we'll see. It's not easy using this type of equipment, but it definitely is a challenge, and it's a whole lot of fun.
And I hate to see him get lucky with a pig.
Alright, here are some of my arrows, some of my hunting arrows that I've made. These are two-piece arrows, and what they are is the main shaft here is made out of river cane, which is basically a native bamboo, and have these hardwood inserts. This one is dogwood that I painted black, and this one is hickory. And you can see that they're wrapped here with sinew to reinforce them on both of them. And then of course we got the stone points here, and these are wrapped with sinew as well, and they are secured in here with pine sap glue. Now you can also make these one piece, but I prefer to make them two piece, and I'll show you this little insert will come right out and makes these really versatile arrows. If you want to just shoot a practice blunt, you can put a practice blunt in here. You can use you can tip them with bone points if you want. And a lot of times what happens is when you shoot an animal with these, with bigger game, if this part stays inside the animal, this part will actually come out, and it will allow you to recover your main shaft. And so these main shafts, they take a lot of time and work to make. So you want to recover them whenever you can. This point here is made out of obsidian. This one's made out of flint from North Georgia, chert. And I'll show you back here's the back end where they're wrapped. And the top one is white turkey feathers, just domestic turkey feathers. This one is wild turkey wing feathers. And they're wrapped with sinew in the back. They're wrapped with sinew here in the front to hold them down. And this back end wrapping also reinforces this knock so that when you shoot them, they won't split. When you're making your arrows, you always want to make sure that you use the same feather from the same side of the wing. That'll give your arrows good flight. So what we do is we'll split this feather in half and then trim it and shape it and show you how that's done. Alright, here's the wing feather. We're going to split this. And the way I split these is I take my knife and I scrape down this quill, because this quill has a really hard kind of a sheath to it. So I scrape this quill down and scrape off that hard sheath. And once you get down through the quill, you'll have this kind of, it's almost like a foamy, soft pith. Just take my knife and go down the center of the quill here. And when you trim that sheath off, it makes it really easy to split. And splits nice and clean. And there's our split feather. I cut this back end off a little bit because this part of the quill tends to be somewhat weak. And then I take my knife, or you can use a pair of scissors, and I just run it along that quill and cut part of the web of the feather off. And then do the same thing to the front end here. And you can measure it however long you want it to be. If you like a longer feather or a shorter feather. I like mine so that they don't hang onto the arrow rest of the bow. And there I trim that one down. And your knife's got to be pretty sharp to do that. And there's your feather. And I'll trim this, thin down this quill a little bit in here just to make sure that it's going to lay flat on the arrow.
Dang, baby, where's my pork chop sandwich?
There's a strip of tendons that's on the back side of the leg, and then another strand of tendons that's here on the front part. And we'll show that. I'll skin this leg out for you real quick and show you those tendons and show you what they look like. Here you can see the tendons I was talking about earlier. Here's the one on the top of the leg, and here's the other one on the bottom of the leg. And I've peeled them away from the bone because they're right in against the bone and held there. I peeled them out so you could see them. But these are the tendons I was talking about, which are the sinew. And we'll skin these out, and then you take them out and let them dry. And that's what we use for the wrapping. So I'll go ahead and cut these out now, and we're going to dry them and we can use them later on. For wrapping my arrows and securing my feathers onto my arrows and securing my points onto my arrows, you use this sinew, which is basically tendons. And these tendons are found on the legs of the deer or the elk or whatever large animal you get. They're also found on top of the back strap. They come in a long flat ribbon, and these are really strong. They're good for wrapping. Like I said, what you do with these is you get them out of the leg of the elk or the animal, and this is a piece that's been dried. You can see it's been split, and you just would separate this out, and that's your wrapping. You just can tear it down into finer and finer threads. And you can also use these you can twist them together and make a bowstring out of them. I've also done that as well. All right, we're gonna start off here today using a piece of Tennessee flint. I'm gonna show you a little bit about how these flakes are removed. Got an edge here. It's kind of got a steep bevel to it. What I'm going to do is, when I want to knock a flake off of here, I use this hammer stone. Right now what I'm doing is preparing this edge to steepen the angle, and then I grind it like that to dull it. Because when you knock flakes off of this, initially it's very sharp and it can't support a blow. If you hit the edge, it'll just crumble. But if you dull it, you make it stronger so that you can transfer enough energy into the stone to knock a flake off. And it should knock a flake that comes down here and comes hopefully to get this little bump out of this side. All right, now I'm going to hit it right about here with this hammer stone. And you see that flake came right off of there, and this could be used for making an arrow point. You could even make a small knife out of it. And these edges here are razor sharp. You could go ahead and skin an animal with this as it is right now.
That's a pretty good rock right there. Kilgore. We'll be back in a minute.